Okay, let's close out this unit with a couple think questions. Here's the first one. Producer had a poor wheat yield due to a late freeze last year. So there was some yield, but not much. Will the nitrogen, this year she wants to plant corn, right? Will the nitrogen applied last year, which was urea ammonium nitrate, to the wheat last year be available for the corn crop this year? So let's think about that question first. Let's see, urea ammonium nitrate was applied to wheat last year, poor yield. Some of the nitrogen was removed, but there's still likely some of this nitrogen still present. So yes, some will still be available. When we use urea ammonium nitrate, what are the potential losses? Think about what you've learned in the nitrogen units so far. So the potential losses are you have some urea, there's likely a little bit of volatilization that could occur because of urea and because of the presence of ammonium, but very little because it's a liquid fertilizer and it's fully incorporated into the soil when applied. The urea should be converted to ammonium, and the ammonium present plus the from the urea and the ammonium present in urea ammonium nitrate can also be converted to nitrate. So other subsequent loss pathways are leaching or denitrification. All right, it just depends on the situation that this person is growing corn and if it's flooded or not, right? Or if the water is well managed. So what do you recommend? What would you recommend to this producer so she knows that the nitrogen that was applied last year is still present or not? What do you think? What you should be thinking is, in order to ensure that the nitrogen is present, that she should pull soil samples and have them analyzed for the amount of nitrogen that's present. One of the things we didn't discuss yet, but if you were to go to a fertilizer recommendation guideline for any given crop, in this case corn, those guidelines that are on the web should tell you the soil sampling depth. And that depth is correlated to how much nitrogen is present in that depth, and then subsequently correlated to how much nitrogen this corn crop would need. Important to understand. Let's look at another think question. So let's think about this. It's a warm fall without rain predicted for the next 2 weeks. Is now a good time for top dressing wheat with a nitrogen fertilizer? And by top dressing, I mean applying fertilizer to the soil surface only. So why or why not? This is a bigger question than what I'm presenting to you here. So is now a good time to top dress with a nitrogen fertilizer? You should say, Jim, it really depends. It depends on what type of fertilizer we're applying, right? If we are applying urea, this is probably not a good time to apply urea fertilizer because of the risk of volatilization. If you're top dressing with a liquid fertilizer, it's probably not a bad idea to do this. So it depends, okay? And so what I'm trying to do in this tiny little unit is to get you to think about the loss pathways by which nitrogen can be released from the soil to the atmosphere or leached, and with it goes basically money out of a producer's pocket. So you should be thinking about this often if you're going to work with fertilizers in the future, at least on a large scale. And this brings us to the end of Unit 5B.